how we can still be so split and divided as a country and it being such a close race, not only in terms of the corruption, the criminal indictments, the conviction, the hate, the cruelty he's exhibited, but also just the cognitive decline. I mean, you have to really wonder if he's even capable and competent.
It's not just Donald Trump, meaning that you could say, oh, okay, Trump hijacked the Republican Party and all of this stuff got corrupted, but you can't get a Donald Trump unless it's bubbling up from somewhere, unless there's this discontent that is bubbled up. And it's now almost like a virus. It's infected a lot of different people, and a lot of people would righteously defend what's happening right now. And so I guess, I'm looking for, not saying that you have the answer, Kim, but I'm looking for, how would you defend? How would you rebut this? Like, let's say that I'm Vice President Harris as an example. What do I say about my use of pardon power? And what do I say about trying to redirect things back to something that was a little bit fairer, or more system related and less personal? Because you know from the law, right? What did Cicero say? We are all slaves to the law in order to be free. We have to subordinate ourselves to the legal structure. Once a few of us become above the legal structure, then the whole trust in the system goes away. So role play for me. Be Vice President Harris. What would you like to let's say she wins. What would you like to hear her say as president? What would you like to hear her do to try to get the system back in order? I feel like I'm a legal chiropractor and the spine is out of whack and we've got to crack it back into place. What would you like her to do?
Well, as you know, there's not a lot that a president can do to raise their magic wand. I think that's a mythology, but pardon, they could. I mean, she could say, listen, we're going to do DNA testing on everyone on death row in the federal system. And if there's exonerating evidence demonstrating that they didn't do it, we're not going to execute people. I mean, she could do that. Right. So there's that with respect to specifically the pardon power. I said Obama did a review of low-level drug offenses that involve no violence, and that under the modern sentencing, they would have gotten a shorter sentence. And he pardoned or commuted, hundreds, well over 1,000 sentences. That's doable. Joe Biden pardoned people with low-level marijuana offenses. So there is good that could be done. George W. Bush, when he left office, was disillusioned with the pardon power because of all the lobbying for it at the end of each term, and said, president should announce a policy and stick to it. That's not Congress. That's a president doing that. You're closer to politics, so I don't know the complexities of doing something like that from a personal level. On the other thing, Anthony, so many people believe this. It's really mind blowing to watch that debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump. And I mean, I have 4 kids. I watched it with my youngest, and that we are to understand how we can still be so split and divided as a country and it being such a close race. I mean, not only in terms of, the corruption, the criminal indictments, the conviction, the hate, the cruelty he's exhibited, but also just the cognitive decline. I mean, you have to really wonder if he's even capable and competent. And I'm not a professional, mental health professional, but others have weighed in on this. And I have to wonder if it has to do with something maybe she could do something about, or at least spearhead or make it a priority. And that is misinformation and disinformation. I mean, at the time of Watergate, there was one set of facts. The Washington Post reported what the New York Times reported, what 60 Minutes reported, right? And the public turned on Nixon once the dirt came out, and it came out through the courts, which would probably now not happen given the immunity. And that is, his Oval Office tapes with all the crimes that were recorded on the Oval Office tapes. Now, each of us gets tailored information fed into our mini computers we hold in our hands using algorithms we don't understand that just reinforce what it believes our biases are. So, I mean, when I was a kid, you'd go to the encyclopedia and the card catalog to learn information. Now we have way too much, and our kids don't know how to sort it, and we don't know how to sort it. We don't know how to teach them how to sort it. So, and the framers understood that you know, that kind of populism based on bad information was really dangerous. It's why we don't have a, you know, just a direct democracy where we just vote for the laws we want. We have a representative democracy for that reason. And Madison said, point your Cicero, you know, if men were angels, we would not need government. The idea being we have to constrain our worst instincts. And the way to do that is at the ballot box. But if people are being lied to and they don't know how to tell truth from lies, I don't know how we get around that. So I think we need Congress and we need a president to step in. We also have a mental health crisis, particularly with our young girls, to step in and do something about that cancer, which is not just domestic. It's Vladimir Putin. It's enemies across the globe. TikTok, Chinese. I don't know how we get around that without law. I really don't.
Well, I mean, it's very tough because we now have conspiracy theorists saying that ABC News corrupted the debate. And then you have billionaires piling on platforms like X saying that. I mean, geez, I don't know. I guess, you know, it's one of those weird things. So.
Well, maybe AI will save us. I don't know what you think about that, but I know everybody's afraid of it, but I think, you know, it's not motivated by money and power.
Yeah. Well, maybe. I don't know.